Okay, again, Geoff Bristow, and I'm with the Department of Environmental Protection. And within DEP, is one of the smallest parts of DEP, is the State's Energy Office. We're a non-regulatory part of the department, and what we do is we provide technical assistance, financial assistance, educational issues, renewable energy, and renewable fuels. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take a quick run through some incentive programs that that municipalities and local governments. A quick show of hands. Sorry, I went over this already. I'm just kind of curious. How many people here are from local government? I'm going to try to stick to some things that I think are more specific to local government. And I'm going to jump right into what's probably been the hottest issue that we've dealt with in terms of incentives, and that has been fuel station. I guess the bad news is that there's not a lot of dollars available right now for all these projects. It hasn't been for a while, but it comes out in spurts towards specific things like alternative fuels. About 8 years ago or so, there was an unprecedented number of dollars available for energy efficiency projects. We have all kinds of local municipalities doing upgrades to facilities, wastewater treatment plants, county offices, things like that. But those dollars pretty much dried up. Those were stimulus package 2009 and 2010. That doesn't mean that there's nothing available. So the bad news is there's not a whole lot available for general energy upgrade projects, but there are some things coming down the pipe. There's a lot of dollars coming. So one of the things that we have on an annual basis is the Alternative Fuels Incentive Grant. This is grants for alternative fuels for transportation. We do vehicles. We can do fleet refueling infrastructure. We can do innovative technology demonstration. For local governments, for the most part, we have a lot of people applying for vehicles, and what we can cover is 50% of the incremental price for an alternative fuel vehicle. Okay, compressed natural gas, electric vehicles, propane. There's been a lot of propane. We can also help with costs for getting the fueling infrastructure needed to support those. And we do anticipate it opening in spring, probably sometime around late May, and we expect about $5 million to be. This is wide open for all kinds of organizations to apply for these funds, including municipalities, parties. Just closed, or we just awarded our 2017 version of this. Oh, when it opens in May, it'll actually be retroactive back to January 1st. If there was a vehicle that you already ordered or something about doing this, you can actually go back to January 1st. 2017, I forget the number of projects, but we pretty much used up all the dollars that were available. This is something that municipalities have taken advantage of. It's a relatively new program. This is not a grant program. What it is technical assistance. Say that you're thinking about the use of alternative fuels, electric vehicles, compressed natural gas, whatever, in your fleet. We actually have a program to assist you helping to develop those plans, called the Alternative Fuel Technical Assistance Program. It's not a grant. What we do is we have an alternative fuels contractor basically on retainer, and we line up 4 or 5 municipalities each year, and then we assign that contractor to give them a certain number of hours. It's usually on the order of 30 to 60 hours of basically free consulting to help develop a plan. If you're interested in that, I expect you to. You have that link in what you sent out.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I don't know who puts these slides. I didn't do this. But go to that and you can apply. And if we get enough lined up for 2000, we've got a contract going out to the end of June. there's enough interest in it, we'll do it again for the second part of 2018.
One other note too, if you didn't get the email or you can't find the email, they're also on our website. They're already posted on the website there. Who we work with communities under S.
One of the programs that's out there that is relatively wide open is the Alternative and Clean Energy Program. This is not implemented by the Department of Environmental Protection. It's implemented by the Department of Community and Economic Development, but my office provides technical assistance. This is one that there are a lot of dollars available, wide open for energy efficiency projects, clean energy generation projects, and alternative fuel projects that do a lot of compressed natural gas fueling. Actually, right now, there's $19 million available, and the window is open for applying. There's a whole lot to go over on this one. I'm not going to do it. I don't have a whole lot of time, but I encourage you to find this website. It's go on to do a Google search on ACE. We'll hit this as the for municipalities.
We're actually, Angelica is going to talk about this in detail later.
Good.
So yeah, you
don't
need this.
Green Energy Loan Fund. All right. This is administered by an organization called the Reinvestment Fund. DEP has contributed dollars to this, so we're partners with them on this. What this is energy retrofits for buildings. So we talk a lot about transportation vehicles. Now opportunities for funding for building efficient projects, or types of projects that they will do, all involving energy retrofits of existing buildings, including gut rehab of an existing building. It could also include projects involving new construction. It's a revolving loan fund. Projects require 25% energy reduction in order to be eligible, and they can do loans up to $2.5 million. 15. This Alana Colvin from PennTap is involved in doing some building retuning training, regional workshops, and building operator certification. Not you guys, right?
No, but we can partner.
This is not a technical. This is not a financial assistance program. This is more of a technical program to help identify low-cost and no-cost energy opportunities. For the most part, when we run these workshops, we get a lot of school district facility managers participating, but we've also had some municipalities participate. That is a one full day program. Are you doing one in Western Pennsylvania next year? And PennTap is a contractor to DEP and these. This doesn't really apply Small Business Advantage Grant because this doesn't apply to you guys because you're not eligible for this, but you work in or you have communities where there are small businesses. So this is something to be aware of. This is probably the most usable grant that DEP offers. We can provide up to 50% of eligible costs, maximum of $9,500. Where we came up with $9,500 and didn't round it to 10, I don't know those things. Grants are awarded on a first-come, first-served basis for energy efficiency upgrades. LED lighting has been very popular. Last year, we did a whole bunch of, across the state, we did a whole bunch of dentist's office that applied for grants to upgrade from upgrade to digital X-ray technology. So in order to be eligible, a business has to have 100 full-time equivalent employees or less. A project has to save at least $500 and 25% annually within that particular system. And it's a very usable. We did 155 grants in 2017. Average grant award $6,400. Annually, we usually have about $1 million available. We always have to wait until the new budget is in place. Times that it will be as long this year. But once we find out that that $1 million is available in this program, then we open it up. And that's usually first week of July. Something coming down the pike that is going to be of interest to, I think, a lot of people from the Volkswagen settlement. If you're aware, the fact that Volkswagen got caught cheating on emissions testing and they settled. There's multiple lawsuits, but the big one that Pennsylvania is involved in was they settled for $2.7 billion, billion with a B, and the dollars are being distributed to the states, same proportion that the vehicles in question registered in the states. Pennsylvania's portion is $118 billion. We have 10 years to distribute that. I don't think that it's going to take that long to distribute that much money. It might take that long, but there's going to be an emphasis to get it out there quickly. And we can do 10 different types of project categories. This is all according to the settlement documents. We can do on-road vehicles, Class 8, that's the big semis. We can do Class 4 through 7, local freight, shuttle buses, and transit buses. Now, when I say we can do these, what we can do is we provide grants, rebates, replace those vehicles. You do that and the vehicles are replaced, what you're replacing has to be scrapped. And the amount that you can get is pretty substantial. And I don't have a lot of details right here because we don't have those details yet. Actually, leaving from here, going to Harrisburg, where we're starting to write some programs. But for local governments, the settlement terms give us up to be able to cover 100% of a vehicle cost. I don't think we're going to do 100%, but we're probably going to do a substantial amount. Okay. Now, how many local governments have these types of vehicles? Okay, if you're sitting there thinking, oh, wait, that plow or that street sweeper that we use, we can replace that with an alternative fuel vehicle. It has to be, this is spelled out in the settlement. Oh, and I probably should have said this. The whole point of the settlement is to replace diesel engines with cleaner alternative fuels and even clean diesel to offset the emissions that were increased by the heating that particularly. I think you know it. We can also do off-road vehicles as well. I don't think anybody here is running switcher locomotives. But here's the one I think is of most interest, and I'm right at the end here, is electric charging infrastructure. I think the fact that you're here at a Sustainable Pittsburgh event tells me that you are municipalities that are progressive and thinking in terms of energy, probably have an interest in electric vehicles at some point, whether it's personally or in your fleet. One of the things that we can do in addition to these on-road and off-road vehicles is have the ability to provide grants and rebates for electric vehicle charging infrastructure. Okay, let's say that you want to put some charging in at your municipal building or other public space. That is going to be something that we can be able to provide a rebate for. It could be a substantial amount, again, for local governments, up to 100%. That includes purchase, installation, and operation and maintenance. Okay, so you can see there is an emphasis to try to get electric charging infrastructure built across Pennsylvania. Okay, and I'd be happy to, my time is up, but I'd be happy to handle questions on this. Don't have a lot in the way of details, but it's a lot of dollars to get.